Okay guys, I'm making this video and hopefully it helps somebody out. We got here a GE dryer, sensor dry. It is model number GTD45EASJ0WS. When we picked this dryer up, we plugged it in and shut the door on it. Went ahead and selected onto cottons and we hit start. Nothing happened. Once we realized we had no power getting to this, no matter which cycle we selected, no matter which dial we turned, we went ahead and pulled the machine back from the wall. We made our way back here to where the plug is wired in. And you can see down here, we have a 30 amp fuse. There's a 30 amp, 250 volt fuse. We took our multimeter and we tested across the fuse and we had no continuity. So that let us know right there that this machine wasn't getting any power. We're seeing that the fuse was bad. We can only assume that there might be another safety internally of this dryer that might be bad. So we pulled the drum out. We got back there to the heating element where all the safeties rest and we went to testing. And we come to find out that the high limit thermostat was bad as well. That was just shortly into findings that we found that the high limit thermostat was bad, which the high limit thermostat looks like this. Little bitty piece, cost a lot of money though. But we didn't just stop there. We went ahead and confirmed that all the circuitry within this dryer was operating properly. And once we verified that, we went ahead and ordered that 30 amp fuse and this high limit thermostat, which took about 3 or 4 days to come in. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to test one of these out. You're gonna go ahead and grab your multimeter. You wanna set your multimeter to ohms of resistance, and you wanna go ahead and go to your beep setting. That's the second one up on our ohms. You can see right there. Before you test anything, you want to make sure that your multimeter is right. It's testing out good. We'll go ahead and test this right here. We should not have an open loop. We should have a closed circuit. And as you can tell here, that is indeed no good. So for reference, I went ahead and pulled out a brand new high limit. This is the one we just tested. I'll go ahead and test this one to show you the difference. We have it on ohms of resistance again. And I'll show you what a good one sounds like. Oh, sorry, it's one-handed. That's what a good one should sound like. Once we busted open this dryer to verify that all the circuits were actually operating correctly, that included checking the door switch and verifying that we had power to the back. Now, again, when we first got this, we tested everything. And like I said, we found that this high limit was bad and that 30 amp fuse was bad. Everything else looked good and everything else checked out good. So once the parts come in, we went ahead and we hooked that up. It goes in the back on the top right side of the resistor, the heater resistor back there. And of course, 30 amp fuse sets in this little spot right there. And we went ahead, plugged it back in. We turned it back over here to cottons and hit start. Nothing. Me and my brother was kind of confused on that because this is a fairly new dryer and the woman told us that it literally just stopped on her. And when we seen that those two components were out, we thought to ourselves, oh wow, that's definitely it. Easy fix. And again, we plugged it in, nothing happened. So here we sat confused. What do we do next? Well, I did notice when we got this dryer from this woman, as you can see here, it was doing the exact same thing. It was set to off. But like I told you earlier in the video, when we went to test it, we was turning the knob just like this. You know, turn it all over here. Start, nothing. And I was like, man, the timer has got to be bad. So in order to take the timer out, you got to take this off anyway. And I don't know if you can tell in this video right here, but that right there is rotating freely on this metal end of this timer. You can see right there, there's 2 or 3 cracks. And that right there is no good. That is not going to allow this timer to turn. Next thing we did was we grabbed a set of pliers and we manually turned this with them pliers. And I mean to tell you, at the amount of resistance that this timer was giving us is insane. I mean, it is almost like it's seized up in there. But we did get it to turn. We turned it over here to Cotton's. It sounded rough. And so we plugged it back in. We hit start. Nothing. Now I'm very confused. I'm like, timer has got to be bad. But before I just say something bad, you better double check. So that's exactly what we did. We went ahead and verified, plugged in, that we had power from this end of the plug to the back of the dryer. That's good. We verified that we had power run from the back of the dryer all the way up here to the timer. That's good. Next step, you want to verify that you got power coming from your timer over here to your start. Once you get power over here to your start, you have to depress the start button in. That closes a set of contacts that allows power to run through the circuitry all the way down to the motor, which will allow the motor to run. That right there, once you press that in, that sends temporary power to the start windings of the motor. And once you release it, that lets the motor start to spin, and then the run windings take over and the motor should turn the drum. But it was not doing that. We went further. We verified that once you press that in, we had power down to the motor. So now we're thinking maybe the motor's bad. All the way down to the motor, and we pull out the plug. We test the start and run windings of the motor, and lo and behold, they're just fine. Next thing on our list, all I can think of is that centrifugal switch. We test it. It tests out just fine. At this point, I'm almost so confused, I don't know what to do. I do know that this timer was being very difficult to turn and that this was messed up. We know that the high limit thermostat was bad, and we know that the fuse in the back was bad, but still, we've got no source of power coming. We tested all the circuitry in it. Everything's good. The only thing just that I could think of was, again, that centrifugal switch on the motor, not allowing the motor plunger to push in and for that motor to turn. But like I said, it tested out right. I was just assuming it might be faulty. Now, I'm like, well, might as well triple check all the circuits. What else is there to do? We bust out the wiring diagram. Every washer and dryer comes with a wiring diagram back here. I mean, we've had the wiring diagram busted out, but I'm saying I poured it out again. I start testing everything. I get down here to the door switch, which is right here. And I poured it out. I was testing it with it plugged in. Not plugged in. I had the switch isolated. It wasn't actually plugged into the plug back here, but I had it just sitting within the dryer, and I was testing it without pulling it out. It tested out fine. I'd done that twice before this third time, and it tested good. It was open, shut it, closed. And that should allow that to, for the drum to turn. Now, I just didn't know what to do, so I pulled out the door switch and I tested it with it out, and I noticed that the center prong was kind of messed up, and whenever you go to test it, it was intermittent. So sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. We'll say, I don't know, one time it would work once out of every 10 tries. I go to the parts store, it's local, and I buy the door switch and we put it in. and I'll be damned. Plug the dryer in. We still had it sitting over here on cottons because, like I was saying, knob stripped out, and the timer dial, I mean, it is absolutely just about seized. But we hit start and it cut on. Brother, we're stoked that the dryer is actually turning on because this took about 2 days of troubleshooting to find out all the problems, especially because of that door switch was giving us some hiccups. But I'm just glad we was able to solve that issue. Of course, this dryer still has that timer that's sticky, and I went ahead and bought a new one. I'm gonna replace that one because that can't be. And of course, I'm gonna buy a new timer dial to go on it because this one was just shot. My hopes is that this video helps somebody out with a similar issue, because these GE dryers are actually really good dryers. It's just they have a common issue with that timer. And if this is helping anybody out, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think. I'd like to hear your opinions. If anybody's had any issues with this type of dryer, let me know.